Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. We are continuing our 3-look series with our Mother Pat and are continuing with Bronze Ambition. I think this is the first mini palette that I purchased and was head over heels at the time when I discovered she was releasing smaller palettes. I love the big motherships. I do, but they are a lot to commit to. They're heavy, not very travel friendly, I should say. And if you could bring Pat with you on trips, it's more mobile and you'll still have the Pat McGrath experience. I'm all for it. This series was inspired by the fact that there are a lot of new makeup releases going on and will forever go on, and to kind of shop in our own collection, and especially if I'm guilty of it too. We pine over a product, we buy it, and it sits in the drawer. We don't use it, we spend so much money. I mean, these little suckers are $55 each. It's not cheap for 6 shadows. Come on. Sitting in your drawer, not using it. But initially we wanted to buy it because we knew as Pat McGrath, we love the shades she releases. Her formula is outstanding. Why not use it? And if you don't know how, maybe these videos have helped with a little bit of technique in terms of application, if you're having trouble with the shadows or you just didn't know what to do. Even if it's just 6 shadows, you were overwhelmed and you're like, Alicia, help me. Welcome, friends. I hope these videos have been helping, and without further ado, let's get into Bronze Ambition. If it's your first time here, my name is Alicia and welcome to Kinky Sweat, Kinky Hair, Sweat Life, where I share all things movement and beauty. I am a fitness professional here in New York City, as well as a huge beauty lover if you haven't noticed. My daily movement musings will be found on Instagram. My next flexibility workshop is coming up March 3rd, Sunday, 4 p.m. I will leave that workshop link down below in the description box. And yes, I love eyeshadow, especially Mother Pat. She is the best. And today we are continuing this series again with Bronze Ambition. I already have Platinum Bronze on here, as well as all 5 big Mothership palettes. If you want to take a look at those, please, I'll wait here. Go ahead. They're there for you to see. I actually made 2 separate playlists. You'll have a 3-look playlist exclusively for the 3-look videos, and then you'll have another playlist that's all reviews, swatches for all Mama Pats. So knock yourself out. Bronze Ambition, everyone was excited about, because when we saw this matte shade was like, finally. But first, as you know, I gotta memorize these names because this shade card, when it gets flipped and twirled, I just don't know what's what. I don't. All right, here we go. I'm excited. Yes. With all that said, it's time for you to get in a little closer. Ooh, we will close today. I have Fenty Beauty's Instant Retouch Concealer in the number 235 on my lids. Also lightly set with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Pressed Powder in 2. I usually start with a beginner friendly eye, and I like to only use one shadow to achieve a look, so it's just easier to utilize the shadows. You don't have to think about blending as much. You just pick one color, apply it all around your lid, and be done. And this metallic formula is very blend friendly. You don't necessarily have to rely on a matte shadow to blend out the metallic shades, which is great because if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then you could just use a finger and slap these suckers on and be done. So definitely want to go in with Bronze Struck. I think this is going to be a really great shade as an all over lid color look thingamajiggy. Just so you can see, I'm going to apply with my finger. And look at that color impact. I mean, shiny, opaque right away. And when you get in toward your crease, you simply use your finger to just pat in and you're done. That's it. Now, knowing me and how I love how my shadow to look, I will take a brush because I like to shape it out a tiny bit more. Be careful if you pick up too much on your finger, it will drop onto your face, but just have a brush on standby and you'll be fine. I'm taking my Hakuhodo J55 with the same Bronze Struck shade and just fitting that now into my crease, using circular motions to feather out the edges and pull it out a bit more. I'm also turning the brush on its side to get more product on the crease and then blending it from there. So now we pulled it out a little bit. If it gets out of hand, just use your finger to smooth out the edges and to reshape it in that way. Taking my Hakuhodo J5523, same bronze struck color, but now on the lower lash line. I'm also taking that brush on the top portion because since it's flatter, it could help manipulate the shadow a little more. And I just use, this is my Sonia G Cheek Pro, by the way, which I also love to use to set my under eye as well as my lid. Who knew? If you ever feel the need to further shape, you just take the brush that by chance you use to apply concealer on your lid, and if it has like leftover product, it could definitely shave down some of the shadow and create a more precise shape if you want. That's just how I like my eyeshadow to look. And then I go back with the same brush and not disrupting the lines too much, but just blurring them out so they look smoother. Now I'm taking my Hakuhodo J242 in with Guilt Trip, and of course we'll take that on the inner corner of the eye. Love this shade. Smooth, buttery, just a beautiful tone of champagne gold to be used as a highlight. And we'll also take that on the brow bone area, which is also a great way to clean up any overblending that might have happened. I mean, I put a lot. I probably put too much, but it's fine. If you wanted a little more, you have plenty of opportunities to build depth. You can use throwing shade, or you could even use, what is this called? Illicit. Illicit is like a matte with sparkle in it, but if you wanted to add a little more depth to, what is this called? Bronze struck, then you could make that happen. I'm just going back in with my J5523 brush to just further refine and kind of clean up. I have this is my Sigma sponge that they were very nice enough to send me. Trying it out and using it just to kind of feather out the edges of that. All right, friends, let's do the other eye and I'll be right back. Here's a close-up of the bronze struck with, what is this called? Guilt Trip. On the brow bone and inner corner. It is a very simple metallic bronze eye that is not too smoky but not too light either. It has the right tone and richness to add character to the eye but not be overwhelming. Fall real on the lips, keeping it very simple. If you just wanted to make this a one color look, you can. And I'm going to tone down the exposure a little bit just so you can see. It has some darkness to it that I feel will add character to the look. You don't have to rely on a matte or a deeper metallic shade if you feel it's not intense enough. I think it looks beautiful as a daily eye, and even for an evening eye, if you want to keep it very light and simple, perfect for that occasion. Let me know what you think down below, friends, and let's move on to look number 2. Look number, oh, you're gonna focus on me? Hello. Definitely gonna go in with the matte shade, throwing shade. I rejudged lids with actually my Too Faced Born This Way in natural beige and reset with my Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder. As you know, all products will be listed down below, full description and shade. Let's start off with our Wayne Goss number 16 with throwing shade. Despite how light this might look in the pan, it actually packs quite a punch. Definitely not as much as depth in Subversive or deep in Sublime. So we're starting off with that really beautiful terracotta color. And I'm building it up a lot as I usually do with my transition shades. I want to create that richness on the lid first, and then we can go in with the other shades. Taking it towards the inner third of my eye as well. Building and building and building. The majority of the shadow has been placed on the crease and lid. I just pull it out a little bit, starting to create that wing-like effect with the shadow. And I just use the bristles of the brush, very light pressure, to further blur out the edges near the brow bone. All right, I think we're ready to grow. What should we apply on this lid, man? I'm not gonna go in with illicit until the last look, so stay tuned for that. That's one of my most favorite dark brown colors of life. The way it creates that dark brown smoke quickly, it's just gorgeous, but I want to primarily stick to Copperize. Going in with my MAC 248. Copperize is a gorgeous, as in the title, copper shade. You could very much well go in with another placement of concealer if you need a little more stick, but I feel we'd be good. I'm using the brush tip to just lightly carve around the crease so it doesn't travel too high. Wetting it a little bit more so it could get more stick and a little more shine. There we go. You see how that kicked it up? That's it. You could have also done this in our first look instead of applying it dry. Totally could have changed the dimension on that, but just so you know, you have that option. I'm going back in with my number 16 just so I could brush away any of the metallic shade that started to travel a little too high past my crease. Ooh, definitely going in with, I think I want to use Gold Rush this time as my inner corner. Maybe it could be like the inner third transition, as I like to do with my shadows, not necessarily placing it right on the inner corner, but close to it. Gold Rush will just add a nice gradient of color and is another opportunity to use more shades. Using my Hakuhodo J5529 to whisk away the excess. I don't want it to get in towards the crease too much. If that happens, I could take more throwing shade and just add that matte to the crease to kind of erase the metallic. Using my Smith 253, this time with Guilt Trip on the inner corner. Just brushing away any shadow that might have fallen. Using the tip of the brush to just further blend in towards the previous shades. Oh, we gotta put something on this lower lash line, man. I think I'm gonna keep it exclusively this color store we have going on. And with that said, I'll grab my Hakuhodo J242 in with throwing shade first, the matte shade. I'll pull that along the lash line and I'm just patting it down more on the outer V to create a little more richness there. Taking the same brush, now with Copper Eyes, what we applied on the lid, spritzing it with some Max Fix Plus, pulling that towards the inner third of the lash line, not all the way across, keeping it here primarily, marrying it with Guilt Trip. I like it to look very smoky, so that's why I'm pulling it down just a little bit, but if you're not into that, keep it higher, closer to the lash line. Just to clean up the edges here, we'll take our pressed powder, what we use or what I use to set my concealer with. Same way in Goss number 16, but I wiped it off my microfiber towel, taking some pressed powder, cleaning up the edges of the shadow. And this is what I like to do if I don't want to dip into another shadow to kind of help clean up the edges, because I don't necessarily want another shade on my eye. I just need something to further buff out the edges of what we already applied. There you go. And of course, going in with my same Hakuhodo brush. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna keep it on my Smith. Guilt Trip, what we applied on the inner corner, but now we'll apply on the brow bone. Oh, that was too much. Oh God. This is like the ultimate champagne shade. I can't take it. Now I actually want to try, okay, so we could do one of two things. We could keep it like this. This is look number 2, alternate 1, or we can add a wing liner. But you know what? I might save that for the last look, but just so you know, you can definitely, even if it's just a brown liner, why not? I actually have my Modster Artisy in liner just to kind of get a little more intensity on the lash line. I turn the pencil on its side and with very short strokes, I just start to pull along the lash line. No wing, to add more intensity and for the lashes to actually look a little thicker. I am applying falsies, but you are more than welcome, and I even recommend you doing so, to just apply your mascara and finish the look. I'm looking down just to kind of make this a little straighter. I'm using my finger to blend it out a little more, or you can use a small shader brush to just help make that happen. I'm going to keep it on the top lash line, leave the bottom lash line alone, slap on these lashes, do the other eye, and I'll be right back. Here is the finished look, friends. Apply new Bonsum lashes in White Russians. I think my poor little lashes in diamonds need a break, or I need to buy another pair. And here is our intermediate eye. We use 1 matte shade and 4 metallics. Copper Eyes mainly on the lid. Gold Rush, I'm sorry, 3 metallics. I can't count. Gold Rush on the inner third. Guilt Trip on the inner corner as well as brow bone. I think this is pretty achievable. The only technical thing you need to do is apply and buff the matte shade into your crease. If you feel more comfortable applying the metallics first and then the matte after to smooth out the metallic edges, you can do that as well. On the lip, I have Ofra Long Lasting Liquid Lip Color in the shade Verona, my go-to brown nude, topped with Pat's Liquid Lust Gloss in Bronze Divinity. I just feel the bronziness of the gloss and the brown color of the Verona lip. It just ties in everything together, giving you coppery, gold, bronzy eyes. And I feel even though the matte shade is a terracotta shade, it's not a super deep brown, I feel it provides incredible smoke. Even for a daily eye, I think this is daily safe, and this could also be a great evening eye, or if it's summertime, if you're going to an outside event, if you want to give the people some sunset eyes, you got it. Let me know, friends, what you think down below, and let's move into look number 3. Look number 3. Definitely going in smokier for the advanced eye, as well as adding a wing to the look. And I'll use Mother Pat's Precision Liquid Liner, which I haven't used before, so I'm pretty excited to see how it executes, you know? Pretty much building from our intermediate eye, I'll first go in with Throwing Shade with my Wayne Goss number 16. Prep the lid again with my Too Faced Born This Way multi-use concealer in Natural Beige, and pat it down with Charlotte's pressed powder in number 2. Definitely taking my Wayne number 4. In with Illicit. Illicit is one of the newer formulas that released with her 6-pan palette. It's a matte with gold glitter flecks in it. Initially, you might think, ooh, that's too dry, but it's actually quite beautiful. It's a dark bark brown matte that's just gorgeous. Do be careful, it packs a punch. Make sure you kick off the brush first and then start by patting in the shade on the outer V, right on top of Throwing Shade. And I just love how opaque it is and how smoky it builds. It's simply gorgeous. And then I slowly start to take it into the crease, very light pressure. Throwing Shade serves as a perfect foundation for the shade. Look at that gradient. That's what I'm saying. Taking this now, the same dark brown matte to the inner lid. I like to pat it down first, because if you pat down first, you'll get the pigment on the lid and then it'll be less likely to fall down from the lid. And slowly I start to take it in towards the crease from the inner third. Switching to my Hakuhodo B142, same listed shade. It's just a slightly less fluffy brush that I feel is ideal for this portion of my eye, and I like to use the more taper tip to get more precise with this application towards the inner part of my crease. Looking down to see what's happening with the blending, if I have to blend more, go in with more, just taking that evaluation. Think that's looking good, friends. Now I want to take my Hakuhodo J146. Love this brush for the lower lash line. I'm taking it with Illicit, and I'm starting to pull that across the lid. I'm actually going to go in with Throwing Shade. Maybe I'll go in with Throwing Shade first, and then I'll follow up with a smaller brush for Illicit. Using my Hakuhodo J5529. Now with Illicit, outer third of my lash line, connecting it to the top. I'm completing that point so it could look seamless. Back in again with my Wayne Goss 16 to just further blend out the edges. Very light pressure I'm using to blur it out. Excuse me, that is the worst car alarm of life. What is that? All right, that smoke's looking good, man. For the standout lid shade, I think we definitely have to go in with Gold Rush. I think I'm gonna do Gold Rush for the standout lid shade, and then Bronze Struck for our inner corner shine. Or I should say lower inner third lash line shine. So specific. Taking my MAC 248 with Gold Rush, packed on some Max Fix Plus, and look how that kicked up the shine tenfold. And I'm using the tip of the brush to create that faux cut crease look. I find that I like the lines to be blurred a little bit. Cut creases are gorgeous, but I feel for everyday or just events, I like that blurred look as well. I think it just adds a little more texture to the look. And when you finish patting it down with the brush, I like to go in with my fingers to further blur out the edges. I'm also taking my Hakuhodo J146 with Illicit to further blur out the edges between Gold Rush. And why not, let's refine the crease a little bit more while we're here. Hakuhodo J242 with Bronze Struck now on the inner third of my lower lash line. You could also put Copperized here to change it up. Going in with the same brush, Guilt Trip now on the inner third, and also pulling that through the inner corner as well. We'll pull it through illicit a little bit, not too much, because I still want illicit to shine through. I might have to go back with my, this is the 146, to bring in more illicit, because I don't want it to be completely covered. And I'm also doing that as well on the outer V. All right, let's test out this precision liner, eh? Oh God, I haven't done this in a while. Whew. Ooh, trying to make this wingy. I think we did it, friends. I would like to clean that up a little bit again. I wish it wasn't so curved. That's why I have a hard time starting on this eye, because it always ends up different, so differently than this side. But when I do this eye off camera, maybe I'll adjust a little bit so it could look a little straighter. I like the felt tip pen. I think it's a little too flexible for me. I need something with a little more give so I could push against. I rely on that extra pressure to steady my hand, but you know, I'll use it. It's cool, man. I might just screw this up, but I am taking a little bit of concealer with my MAC 165, I don't know. It's starting to wear off. I'm just gonna see if I could clean this up a little bit. This is a little better. I'm not mad at it, but again, let's apply these lashes, do the other eye, and I'll be right back. Back with the final look. Same New Balsam lashes in White Russian. Did the liquid liner on the other eye. I think they came out pretty well. I'm always so hard on myself on these stupid wings, but you know what? They're fine. Here is the finished look with Gold Rush on the lid in between illicit. I think it is just a gorgeous smoky eye that uses that dark brown rich color from illicit to really bring it over the edge. On the lip, I have my Dior Rouge liquid lip in Jungle Matte, topped with Full Real, of course. And here is a wider shot of how the eyes look. What do you think? I love this. I mean, the combination of the terracotta matte with illicit, which is super dark brown, Gold Rush on the lid, and you can put any of these shades, well, let me get the palette first, that will be helpful. You could apply any of these metallic shades on your lid on their own, between illicit, or maybe just on throwing shade. The combinations are endless here. You could even just put Guilt Trip on its own on the lid if you just need a little punch of color but you don't want it to be a full-on metallic eye. You could do that as well. You could also apply any of these metallics by themselves and a wing liner and you'll be good. You could even try just to apply illicit all over the lid to make it super smoky on the lid without having to rely on a liquid liner or even a crayon eyeliner to create that smoke. I haven't done that look yet, but I just wanted to showcase one of the metallics on top of the illicit matte, or glittery matte, I should say. Again, totally up to you in terms of how you want to execute your looks. But again, with matte's metallic formula, as you know, you could smooth it onto the lid easily as well as blend it into your crease. In terms of these shades, again, you could apply illicit, that dark brown glittery matte all over the lid. Apply that on your lower lash line, falsies, or maybe just mascara, and be done. That's just the quickest way you could create that smoky look if you don't want to do the halo eye I did, or if you don't want to mess with blending, throwing shade into the crease. Copper eyes on the lid, gorgeous. Gold Rush, gorgeous. Bronze Struck, gorgeous. Bronze Ambition is a favorite, as you can see, for obvious reasons. The colors are easy to deal with, they're easy to marry with each other, and you don't have to put a lot of thought into it. Let me know what your favorite shades are from Bronze Ambition down below, as well as how you like to combine them, and we'll take it from there. And that, my friends, is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another tutorial, chit chat, get ready with me, demo, or 3-look video. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.